The problem of power supply in Nigeria is multifaceted. You have the entire value chain of power supply. You have issues along the value chain. You have the fuel, you have the power itself, you have the transmission, and then you have distribution. When you look at the fuel supply, it's not adequate yet. And you have issues of vandalism of the gas pipeline, which really can be a major problem. It's a major problem. Then in the case of the power, we have in Nigeria installed power supply, installed power of about closer to 13,000 megawatts, but available of about 7,000 megawatts. Available because the generating system is available for supply. But then you have our capacity to actually put the power on grid of about 5,000 megawatts. That means that two types of constraints make it impossible for us to put 7,000 megawatts. One of which is the gas supply, but majorly the transmission infrastructure. The transmission infrastructure makes it difficult for the project, the power to be supplied, and that's a serious problem. Then you come to distribution. The distribution infrastructure is dilapidated. Then you have the problem of the human beings in the distribution. The collection inefficiencies, the leakages, people who are stealing power, people who are doing all kinds of things to make it difficult for distribution to work. And also the distribution companies themselves that are not investing in distribution infrastructure to ensure that you have, like if you have inability to transmit power to a person who needs power or to a group that needs power, that would be because maybe the transformer has blown, maybe the line is out, maybe something just is not correct. And the only way you can deal with it is to restore. The response time may be inadequate. Sometimes the response time may be months in some cases, and some people say even years for response time. That's just unacceptable. So these are some of the issues. We don't have, and then when you come to quantum, you're talking about a country of 200 million people. A country of 200 million people, and we are talking about 12,000 megawatts. That's not even available. That's just not right. I like to think of us to pay ourselves against Brazil. Brazil is a comparable country in terms of population. We aspire to be a mid-level economy. If we are going to be a mid-level economy, then clearly we should be talking about the sort of power supply Brazil has, over 100,000 megawatts. If you're going to have 100,000 megawatts of power supply, then you have to have transmission line to match. We don't have it. So these are the issues. So that's why the sort of model we have in Aba is a solution that can work now, which says, okay, let's have ring fencing. You have embedded power. Within that ring fence, you clean up the distribution infrastructure and ensure that you are able to reduce losses. the average technical collection and commercial losses. Our company has, over the years, prepared for ability to supply reliable electricity. That means we have embedded this generation power of 141 megawatts in Aba. I'll come back to that. But we also have, we've taken the distribution infrastructure and invested heavily in it. When we came into Aba, there were 3 substations, 2 by 15 MVA. And this can only allow for 70-something megawatts to pass through. So even if you have, even if Aba wants has a load demand of, say, 120, 130 megawatts, they cannot supply it. So we went ahead and built additional 4 brand new substations, 2 by 15 MVA. That means that the entire Aba now has transformation capacity that will be able to deal with whatever power that is required in the next few years. So we have that. We have prepared that. The substations built. We built new sub-transmission lines, that is distribution lines at 33 kV and 11 kV. We've built all this. So we've invested heavily in distribution infrastructure. We've also built new gas pipeline. The gas pipeline we built is to ensure that we have direct supply from the gas production facility of Shell to our power plant. That ensures that the fuel is available. Okay, so and we have commercially reliable gas supply agreements. So these are some of the things that we've done. Now, when you talk about the power plant itself, given that Enugu Disco, which supplies 5 states, has about less than 300 megawatts. It gets less than 300 megawatts. And we have built more than 141 megawatts. You can therefore imagine that Aba, which is a smaller place, has nearly half of the power supply that the entire Enugu Disco has. That's how you build for power supply. So these are some of the measures that we've taken. And of course, we're going to meter the entire place. We're going to embark on aggressive metering to ensure that the way I look at meters are the agreement between the supplier and the consumer of electricity. There will be no agreement. So when you have a meter, you know that it is what you consume that you pay for. And that's just as simple as that. Well, that's just what I said. We are going to aggressively meter. We will meter all meterable consumers, prepaid, matter of fact, not even postpaid. So our goal is to meter everybody. That is metering. And we're going to start by aggressively doing it. And we will say that in the first year of operation, the amount of meters we'll supply will be more than what you would find in a lot of distribution companies. I don't think that the cooked up accusation has to do with Aba Integrated Power Project, no. It's not about the Aba Integrated Power Project, because the Aba Integrated Power Project was nearly finished by the time I became Minister of Power. So it has nothing to do with that. We've started building the Aba Integrated Power Project in 2004. I had not been in government in power sector by that time. So it's just people who wanted for me to, that they felt that I was going to stand in their way of acquiring the assets. And that's that. So, anybody can say anything they want. I don't want to really get into that discussion at all, because it has nothing to do with me. And they all know it. It has nothing to do with me. Well, our goal is not to acquire EEDC or any other company like that. I think if in the future a company wants to collaborate with us, we're absolutely open to that. But our goal is to take this Aba, clean it up, and show how utility business should be done. That's our objective, and we are determined to do it, and we are here to do it. Well, geometric power, we have now taken over Aba electricity ring fence, and we are now commencing the mad dash to complete and commission all the projects that we say constitute Aba integrated power project, which means the power generation, the gas pipeline, substations, the overhead lines, that we should complete in 6 months' time. And so we should complete and commission within that time frame. During this period, we are actually operating Aba like any other disco. This is the 12th electricity distribution company in Nigeria. And so we begin to improve it by connecting to the grid, that is Aba grid. All that we've built, like the substations, the power lines, they'll begin to be part of the play for power delivery in Aba. But by the time the power plant is completed and the gas pipeline is completed, and you have first gas, we will be the supplier of power in Aba. And that, we're saying, we're giving expectation of consumers 6 months. It could be sooner, but 6 months time now.